Hello everyone to the Prabhudas Leeladhar webinar. For those who have not attended the previous ones, let me just give a brief summary of what we've done so far. The first day is more so on intraday trading strategies with the help of moving averages. Yesterday, we studied about the trend line as to how to plot a trend line and how does it help as a support resistance, which is a very important technical tool. Now, today we shall be introducing RSI, that is the Relative Strength Index, with the moving averages. So, for those who have not attended the first lecture, well, today it will be a detailed study more on moving average and a combination of RSI and how to create trading strategies on basis of these two indicators. So, let's start. As we had studied about the moving average, what prices, and it smoothens the price momentum, and which helps us to derive whether we are in an uptrend or a sideways move or a downtrend. So the average can be used of any period to your liking. As I had mentioned, for a short-term trader, we need small moving averages like a 10-day, 10 period, depending whether it's a 15-minute, hourly. So on basis of that, we choose our moving averages. And just with a single moving average, we can create trading strategies, but people are using 2 to 3 moving averages, whereby there is a crossover, further indication whether the stock is getting stronger or weaker. 200-day moving average, which we hear on a day-to-day basis, which is a benchmark and which is holding as a crucial support or a resistance. So, well, there is a combination of moving averages that one can use. So this is how we are going to see some examples. So as I said that let's brush it up. The most common application of moving averages are to identify the trend direction, to determine support and resistance level. When the asset prices cross over the moving, we may generate a trading strategy. And when the moving average with a short time frame will of course give a early indication. So example, when after the stock has fallen to quite a moving average will see a quickest crossover of the price index as compared to the 50 period. So that is how it will be much faster using the small period to get an early indication. Now, as I said, the 20-day may be of analytical benefit to a shorter term trader, since it follows the price more close. The crossover happens much quicker than a longer term moving average. So in this couple of chart examples that we are showing, we will be using a 20 period and a 100 period and see how these crossovers help us to see how to generate trading strategies on basis of those. Now, this is the recent fall which we have seen, and over here on this chart, we are using the 20 DMA and the 100 DMA. So let's have a look. How does it perform in what we see? The blue one is the 20-day moving average. We see a cross down, and simultaneously the price also goes below, which is a confirmation that we are done with the upward move and now we are going towards the corrective side. So this is how the crossover helps us, and we make a sell strategy on basis of that. So to again brush up, how would we frame the stop losses? We will be taking the previous high above the moving average, and that is what would be the favorable risk reward. We shall be studying in detail about the risk reward in tomorrow's webinar, but for today, just for an explanation, well, the stop loss normally is above the moving average, the high made, the recent high made above the moving average for a sell strategy, and for a buy strategy, it will be the recent trend moving average, which is the 20 period, which works faster and it helps the crossover above the 100-day moving average, and we also see that the price from here on has gone above. So further confirmation comes when we see the crossover of moving average. So of course, not to miss the first initial trade, but you may add to your trade. So if you are trading at every high. If you're adding to your, we keep adding as we see further strength coming in. So this is how we generate further buy signals with the crossover. And immediately when we see that the stock is going below, it is a word of caution, and the confirmation comes here, right here. Well, when 12,400 was the scenario in the recent past, and when we saw a decisive crossover, we saw, let us see how beautiful it works. It is such a smooth move. We are seeing no whipsaws, we are seeing no crossovers of the moving average. So it was a clear sell signal what we saw from 12,000 levels to deep down at 7,500. And similarly, once when the stock price, the index was below both the moving averages, the first crossover we see on the 20 period. Had we put a 10-day moving average, we would have seen it earlier prior. And for just the benefit of traders who are not referring to daily chart, but one is who is in a hurry to get into the trade, will then come down to an hourly chart, see what your 10 period moving average gives you, whether it's giving you a buy signal. So that is how you can be quick in your trade. So when you're on a daily chart, you come down, you drop down to a 60-minute chart. And for intraday traders, one can even drop down to 30 minutes or 20 minutes as per your suitability. And that is how you can get early signal. But well, then you would have to review again, coming back to the bigger time frame, that is daily time frame. So now this is the main time frame that we are looking at for the day, and from here on we have a look at this chart properly. So the support is at around 8,400, 8,500, and currently today we are at 9,400. And yesterday also, just to brush it up, we had done a trend line analysis, and we were saying, if you see, we have got the pivot points, the main pivot points right here, right from 7,500 to 8,000 to 8,500. And that is what gives us a trend line, which if you draw, you will see that the market is still taking support of the trend line, and we are well above the trend line to say that we are still heading for an upward move. And why would we say so? Because 9,400 as the previous high was holding as the resistance. We have come close to this. Tomorrow will be again a wait and watch scenario. A move past that, we would be seeing that it will be a gap filling. So that is how we will be studying gradually as to how we come to Hindustan Unilever. This is what we were talking about. Now let's study in detail about the chart with this moving average that we have put, that is the 20-day and the 100-day moving average. Market, the stock particularly, has been oscillating between 1,700 and 1,800 levels, and whereby you would see that there was a lot of choppiness. So we were getting in for small trades, because over here the 100-day moving average, if you see, was acting as a resistance. Though we got a buy signal right from the 20 period moving average, because the stock has moved past the 20 period, but it was showing resistance at 100-day moving average. So then it would have been, this is what we call, it's a sideways move. So the strategy support levels and book at the resistance level. That is what we had also studied making channels yesterday. So similar to that, over here, the moving average, two moving averages are acting as the support and the resistance. So now we are seeing that after a period of time, we see that there is a decisive crossover of the 20-day moving average, and also the price is going way high. So gradually it is picking up momentum. So you still get into small trades, but once you see, after a number of attempts, you see that there is a decisive up move coming in, and that can be judged when you see the distance between two moving averages. When it widens, it means that the stock is getting into a strong uptrend. So this is what has happened, and we see a big swing rally over here coming in right from 1,700 levels to about 2,300 levels. So this is how one can understand how the two moving averages are working. And then the immediate sell signal comes right when we see a crossover of the 20-day moving average, and then we would see that the 100-day would act as a support. So for some time the support is breached, and again we see that there is a up move coming in. So especially when two moving averages or three moving averages, they converge to a common support line, there are many times that the three moving averages or two moving averages that you would be using, they converge, then they are more or less at the same support level. That would give a strong buy. When the stock goes above a combination of three moving averages or two moving averages lying at the same level, it means that it is ready for a good takeoff or ready for a good breakdown. So if stock moves above the moving average, it is a buying opportunity. When it goes below, we see a sell opportunity. So look at this subsequent movement pattern over here. The 20 period moving average and 100 period moving average are pretty much close to each other. And that is what post that we have seen a good up move coming in. So this is a hint for new traders that when you are using a couple of moving averages and when they come converge to a common point, to a similar price range, then that gives a very strong buy or a sell signal. So now let us just go through that. Crossovers are one of the main moving average strategies. The first type is when we are using only one moving average and the price crossover takes place when the price crosses above the small period moving average. Another strategy is to apply two moving averages to the chart, one with a longer and the other one with a shorter time period. When the shorter term moving average crosses above the longer term moving average, it is called the buy signal. It is also known in the technical language as a golden cross. But when the shorter term moving average, that is what we just saw in Nifty daily chart, falling from 12,000 levels to making a low of 7,500, we saw that the 20 period crossed down the 100 period, and that is called the dead cross or the sell signal. So this is how we want to take note of it. Moving average works well in strong trending conditions, but it gives us a hard time when the market is sideways. That is what we studied yesterday. Narrow, we would drop down to a smaller time period. But yet, in spite of that, when the market is sideways, you just got to play with the support and the resistance and play with the small profit margins. Average would act as a resistance level. So 20 and 100 was pretty much a gap. So in a sideways, you could add even a 50 period moving average because that could give you a smaller range as well. Now, with moving average, we are going to add RSI. What is RSI? RSI in technical language is relative strength index, velocity and the magnitude and the direction of the price. So momentum based, well, it is normally plotted, which we will be seeing in our subsequent slide. We normally plot above the chart, price chart or below, but for my comfort, I would put it right below my price chart. And it is a range which moves between 30 and 70 on a regular basis. So below 30 is oversold, above 70 is overbought. So let's study in detail about the RSI. The RSI closes, and we have stronger positive changes when the RSI moves faster than the stocks, and it gives us quicker indicators. So RSI is typically used on a 14-day time period, measured on a scale right from 70 to 30. As I said, in a bull market, it could go even higher, say from 80 to 90. And in a bear market, the support would come, the oversold zone would come from, instead of 30 to below 20 and 10. So that is how we mean what is overbought and oversold. Oversold when the stock is corrected to a great extent and it has gone in below 30 levels in a bear market, even towards 20. And overbought is when the stock is rallied to quite an extent and the indicator shows us in an overbought zone when it breaches the 70, 80 levels to go higher. So that is where the stock is going to be said that it is in an overbought, it is highly rallied, but it does not confirm a sell strategy there. So we will be studying in detail as to how to study the RSI. Now, this is the price index, what we see above, and below is the RSI plotted. So RSI movement also is pretty much in sync with the price movement. It elevates with the price, it descends with the price. So this is how the similarity. When do you get a buy signal? After going in the oversold zone, it tries to come out and sustains about the 30, the support line, the oversold zone. So that is giving you a buying opportunity. So when you combine a smaller period moving average, in this particular one, the emphasis is more on relative strength index, but in the subsequent chart, we will be showing you a combination of moving average with the RSI. So just knowing how the RSI functions well, when it moves past the oversold zone, we say that the stock is showing exhaustion on the selling side. It's time for a bounce back, and small trades can be taken because we do not know as to what level the RSI is going to proceed ahead. So RSI in a bear market, well, we have drawn the medium line that is at 50. So normally in a bear market, it does not move past 50. The range is maintained pretty much between 20, 30 to 50. And in a bull market, it often takes support of 50, and it would be a good buying opportunity at those levels because RSI is going to attempt to move towards the overbought zone, that is the 70s and the 80s. So that is how one understands this indicator. Now, just to make a note of it, the level of the RSI is a measure of the stock's recent trading strength. The slope of the RSI is directly proportional to the velocity of the change in the trend. The distance traveled by the RSI is proportional to the magnitude of the move. So just as I said, it moves pretty much in sync with the price movement of the stock or the index that we are talking about. Tops and bottoms are indicated when RSI goes above 70 or it drops below 30. That is what I just explained. Below 30 is oversold, above 70 is overbought. Traditionally, RSI readings greater than the 70 level are considered to be in an overbought territory, and RSI readings lower than the 30 levels are considered to be in the oversold territory. So in between the 30 and 70 level is considered neutral, with the 50 level a sign of no trend. So it could be a retracement level or it could be a resistance level. So depending whether it is a downtrend or an uptrend, the level 50 holds a lot of meaning. So this is how the indicator is shown. What is overbought? It is piercing the 70 line. So that is the overbought zone. When it pierces the 30 line down below, it is the oversold zone. And well, the central line, which is at 50, which is an opportunity. If the RSI is after a good bull run, it retraces and takes support of 50, that is a good buying opportunity, which would say that it is ready for a new round of momentum. So people who are familiar with our day-to-day trading strategies, we often use this word that it's ready for a new round of momentum. That is when one of these indicators help us to say that. So when it is resting on 50, it is ready for a new round of momentum. When it is resisting on 50, we say that it is a selling opportunity, book your profit. That would be the case in a bear market. So now we need to study about the divergence, which plays a vital role. What do you mean by a bullish divergence and a bearish divergence? Well, we have a recent example, which we shall be discussing soon. So divergence is when the price in bullish divergence is when the stock is continuing to make new lows, whereas RSI refuses to make a new low, but it slightly elevates and tries to take support on the line 30, which is what we mean that it is out of the oversold zone. So when the stock or an index has fallen to a great magnitude, it has already gone into an oversold territory. The price continues to make a new low, whereas RSI is gradually stabilizing and it is resting on 30. And when do you say that this bullish divergence is confirmed? When it comes out from below 30 and it rests on the line 30, we say that the bullish divergence is ready. And the recent example, what we have seen is in Bajaj Finance, because we have been recommending to our day-to-day traders, we have been recommending right from 2300 levels because it was in an oversold zone. But well, just a couple of days back, we saw that it made a new low of 1900 levels. And today we are seeing a good bounce. So that is what we mean that RSI was indicating fatigue, exhaustion, the price, the last leg of selling took place. But well, the confirmation, it's still early to say, but for now, the bullish divergence in Bajaj Finance has worked well on the daily chart. But the confirmation and the further strength comes only when it crosses over a smaller time period moving average. So this is what we mean by a bullish divergence. What do we mean by a bearish divergence? Bearish divergence means it's ready for a selling a strategy. So when the stock continues to make new highs, whereas the RSI is not sustaining, it is making lower highs. When the stock makes higher highs and the RSI makes lower high and it breaks, it pierces the 80 or the 70, which is the oversold, overbought territory, that is what we mean as a bearish divergence. So RSI works very well to show the exhaustion of the stock, and that is what we mean by a bullish divergence or bearish divergence. Now, bullish divergence and bearish divergence is very important for everyone to know. Does it work at every pattern? Not really. You have to see, because this occurrence happens very many times and it could be a false signal, because it carries weight only when it is in sync with a say Fibonacci retracement level, a crucial support, through a Fibonacci level. Every attempt of a bullish divergence or a bearish divergence may not give us a further sell signal or a buy signal, but it has to be in sync with the Fibonacci levels of retracement as well. So do keep in mind that bullish divergence helps to give us a buying opportunity to see that there is an exhaustion, but it has to be confirmed with a crucial support or a resistance level. So this is an example of what we mean by a bullish divergence and a bearish divergence. Have a look when in Nifty, this is the daily chart, when the stock has made new lows, the index is making new low. And look at the RSI, right from making a low, the RSI on the indicator is making a higher low. That means there is exhaustion on the selling side and the stock would not correct further, but it would be giving a buying opportunity. Buying opportunity would be confirmed once it rests on the line 30. And we can take a supporting indicator of a small period moving average, or just by the candlestick study, you see that the previous candle, the prominent candles, are they crossed over? Then we say that the stock is ready for a reversal and it is ready for a bounce back rally. So till then, we would just say it is a bounce back rally. But when is the confirmation that the bounce back rally is ready for further takeoff? When the prominent pivot points, the prominent resistance levels are moved past. So this is how from 7,500 Nifty, we have been gradually coming to 9,000. That is where we are today. We saw 9,400 nearly. So that is how gradually we have come up to these levels by seeing some bounce back. Then we see the resistance level being moved past. And then we see, well, we also saw that there is a trend line support that we spoke about yesterday. So 7,500 to from there on, we have drawn the pivot points and we have got the trend line support. So as long as 88, 8,900 levels are held on, we were saying that Nifty was ready for a further up move. So this is how one can gauge as to what would be the next move of the stock or an index. Now, similarly, as we spoke about the positive divergence, that is when the stock or an index has already fallen and it continues to make new lows, whereas the RSI is making higher lows. And once it is resting on the line 30, which is the benchmark, because that needs to be crossed and to be sustained higher, we see that it is ready for a reversal. So similarly, when the stock or an index continues to make a new higher highs and the RSI shows fatigue, we would say that the stock is ready for some profit booking. But look here, we are in a bull market, we are in the bull run, and the stock has just taken support a couple of times on the medium line 50. It has bounced back, and that is implying that it is ready for a further up move. So this is how we can infer whether the correction, whether the rally is over or whether the rally is ready for a new round of momentum. So this is how this indicator is going to help us, whether the main part is to understand the levels of 30 and 70. In the bull market, the resistance level can be elevated to 80 and 90. And in the bear market, the support band, which is 30, can be going down to 20s also. So you have to have this flexibility in your scale depending on how the market is. But 30 to 70 works well even for a sideways market. So now we are going to combine moving average and RSI, like how we had mentioned in the previous lectures, that just one indicator does not work well. You need a confirmation taking help of other indicator as well. So normally a combination of RSI with a MACD or a moving average works very well. So today, since we have already done moving average, we will be now combining a study of moving average and RSI. So this is just a small note for everyone. The indicators that you use will greatly depend on your trading style. It is best to think of the indicators as guides and understand that you can't just base your trading strategies on a single indicator. So for example, you buy every stock that closes above its 220-day moving average. It may not work well if it is in an overbought zone. So similarly, if there is any sell coming from a moving average, it may not work well when the RSI is already in the oversold territory. So this is how it prevents you to make a false trade. So combining RSI and moving average works very well, and let us see how we can study this further. So indicators can be a great tool when deciding if you want to buy a stock or if you should sell a stock, taking a view of both these indicators. Moving average and RSI indicators are two most popular and very simple to use for technical analysis. So moving averages help us to identify the trend direction. It helps us to give a buy signal, and also RSI helps us to see where the resistance is in sync with the moving average crossover. So, and also when the stock is really rallying up, RSI helps us with telling us whether we are in an overbought zone, means the stock is really rallied. It needs a thought whether we should be getting into further trades as to how the next strategy should be when the RSI is already in the overbought. So this is how it's going to help us. And of course, not to miss the bullish divergence and the bearish divergence, which we just studied some time back. So just as I said, we don't want to buy a stock that is already overbought, that is already above 70. However, when it retraces, say to 50, that is what we just saw, and in a bull run, it means that it is again a good buying opportunity. And even if RSI has breached to the 80 or 90 levels, but yet it takes support on the 70 band, which is the overbought territory, it still calls for further strength. But well, one would be definitely cautious at those levels because we are already in the overbought. And similarly, when there is good selling taken place already, what we saw in the recent past, most of the stocks have already corrected so much, and when RSI goes into the oversold territory, you would not go for a further sell, and if you have to, you will observe whether it is bouncing back from the 30s. So 30 level, which is the benchmark for oversold territory. So once it comes out, we say that it is ready for a bounce back. So you need to exit all your short strategies and see for the fresh buy signal. So I will be showing one of the charts below as to how to understand the RSI properly. Here we go. This is one of the stocks, and above is plotted the RSI. Have a look. The RSI indicator on the above the price index, we are seeing that, well, it is in the overbought zone, the price is making new high, and that is what, once it moves below the 70s zone, it is a confirmation, means the top is resisted at the 70 zone. We say that the stock sees exhaustion. We do not see further upside rally coming in this stock. So RSI helps us a number of times when it is showing positive divergence or a negative divergence. So this is what we call as a negative divergence, because the stock is making new high, whereas RSI is showing exhaustion. And once it leaves the 70 band or the 80 band, depending on which market that you are and where you have plotted your overbought zone, once it resists, it stops to move past the 70 or the 80 line, it shows that there is a confirmation that the stock is witnessing a fatigue and exhaustion. There is no scope for a further move, but it could be either a sideways or a corrective move from here on. So this is how RSI and combination of moving averages help us. So this is again a small note. RSI is used to confirm the moving average signals. The equilibrium level for the RSI is 50. That is what I told you. In a bull market, it gives an opportunity for a re-entry if it takes a support at the 50 band, or it acts as a resistance in a bear market because it would refuse to move past 50. So you know that it is a sideways market or a bear market, but it fails to move past 50. So we rather be happy with what the market is ready to give us and play in those small range. So that is how one can gauge the price movement and the index movement, whatever that you are trading in, and whether you are seeing a good uptrend or a sideways move. That is what will help us with the use of channels and trend lines, what we have seen just in the previous chapter. So now how do you use the stop losses? The moving average we learned sometime back in our first lecture itself. And of course, the rules applied are for all time period, whether it is intraday, daily, weekly, needless to say that. But well, the stop loss is always, if you are going for a sell strategy, when the stock goes below the moving average, we get into the sell trade, confirming with the next candle happening, and the stop loss comes with the high above the moving average. And similarly, when you are getting into a buy trade, you will make your stop losses just below the moving average, the low made below the moving average, and you will confirm a buy with the subsequent candle which comes higher than the first buy signal. So this is where now stop losses, as I mentioned, if the price action closes above the moving average, then we would have stop loss just below the moving average. That is what is the buying opportunity. And how do you take profit? You also take profit when sometimes it may so happen that, well, the moving average has not yet given a confirmation, but RSI, we are already in the overbought zone. So that at least tells us that it's prudent to take some profit here, because by the time it gives a confirmation, maybe the price is already retraced quite an extent. So it would be really wise to take a combination of these two indicators and make your own judgment as to when one should book profit, when it would be right for a re-entry. I would repeat, see the 50 medium line, see the 70, because when the stock is in an uptrend. Another observation is when the market is ready for a bull up move, it is supported by the moving average, it is supported by the other indicators, especially when the RSI is sustaining above 60. It implies that the stock is ready to go up with a greater velocity and faster. So this is what one can definitely learn, that when the stock or an index is ready to get into the bull run, it has to be above 60. And that is the period when it shows the maximum momentum. And of course, this has to be supported by good volume. So volume plays a vital role at every level. It's needless to repeat, because volume is the main barometer which tells us whether there is buying interest or no. But this is how one learns the RSI. So now this is the recent, today we have given a buy call on Indraprasth Gas. It was a momentum call. It was also a positional call. But today we are seeing that a combination of RSI with the crossovers of moving averages. See how beautiful it has worked. This is a 15 period chart. I need not explain, but look at how RSI is giving in sync with the moving averages. So today's recommendation was right at around 460 levels or so. So this being a small time period, we are looking at the daily chart also, and we are getting seeing the daily chart, we are getting a target of 500 and 520. But for small traders, intraday traders, just let us see how this is working. The recent move, the RSI is showing it has taken support at 50. Let's see over here. And it is then, we see the crossover of the stop, the combination. You see that both these moving averages have met up over here. There is a similar range. And this is what I just mentioned, that when there is a combination, when two moving averages are close to each other, it gives us a stronger signal. So similarly, the previous one, when we got a sell signal, with the RSI going below 50, the crossover of the moving averages and the price below both the moving averages, we saw a good downside coming in. And now as we see that the RSI is now in the oversold, it is bouncing back from the oversold territory and in sync with the price. Look at the price. Once it goes right above both the moving averages, we are getting a good rally. And how do we say that this is a strong up move? Look at the distance. See the distance between both the moving averages and the price. So the price is picking up with great momentum, and so also it is in sync with the RSI movement. So this is how traders, new traders who are getting into the market, this is how one can study your stocks and make your own trading strategies. So far we have learned the moving average, we have learned the RSI, and we have also learned the trend line, which helps us to see the support and the resistance levels. So this is it for today, and I'm ready for questions. Well, what have you missed? How to identify a RSI? Well, it is always inbuilt in your trading, whatever you are using, TradingView or Metastock or anything. So you don't have to. Normally, it is a 14-day period RSI. So you don't need to work on that. You just use the inbuilt one. So well, yesterday someone had asked me about Bajaj Finance. One can again go to that stock and see how it's working because the positive divergence, as I just mentioned in the lecture, it has worked so far. But we will be seeing a further confirmation once it crosses the moving average also. It's too early to say, but for now, yes, the positive divergence has worked. Now, difference between RSI and exponential RSI. So since it's a beginner's course, let us just focus on the RSI that is already there in our trading programs, where whichever one you are using. And then of course you can modify, you can put a moving average, you can add moving average to, it could be a 9-period moving average to a 14 RSI. So it's suiting on crossovers and all. If that is what you like, that is how RSI can have a moving average. Which time frame is suitable for intraday? Well, 15 period is works very well for intraday. What is the right time to study RSI and trend line for intraday trade? RSI works very well, trend line and all well. We don't see that, we don't wait for that big a rally in an intraday trade. So I don't think you should care much for trend line. Well, but for the past study, for a homework, you can use your trend line, but otherwise focus more on moving average and RSI for momentum trades. So what is the meaning of RSI of 70? Well, you need to read this. Go to Investopedia. It's like, I mean, if I explain to you, it's like reinventing the wheel. These are the based rules for RSI, that it works in a pattern whereby above 70 is overbought and below 30 is oversold. So someone is asking me about stop losses and all. So tomorrow we will be doing about our subject will be financial trading with favorable risk reward strategies. So I will be going in depth in that. So we shall discuss that tomorrow. How to apply RSI on charts? Well, it's very simple. Depending on what you are using, you have it as a indicator supporting tools, and you got to just plot it on the chart. What does 10 or 20 or 50 or 200 DMA signify? So again, of course, as I said, that if you are a short-term trader, you would use time period of 10 to 20. If you are a positional trader, you would use a combination of 20, 50. If you are a long-term investor, of course, you will be using 200-day moving average. So on basis of that, you would be using your moving averages. 70, it is the overbought zone. So please, I would really request you all to go through Investopedia, take this chapter seriously, because if you want to get into trading and use your own judgment, I think you should know your indicators very well. What I have done is given you an introduction and I have tried to explain to you, but in-depth studying is a must. So I would strongly suggest that, well, there are books on these, but to start with, go to Investopedia, Wikipedia. It gives a very, very precise explanation on each and every topic. Understand your tool well, and then try to make your trading strategies. So, well, with software, for good understanding, easy understanding, Falcon also works very well. One can use Falcon. So in IGL, RSI is near 70. Yes, of course, because we saw good momentum, but we will see if the stock, this is just a 15 period. So had you taken trade in a 15 period, right from 262 to 260, 462 to 468 or something, you would have got your trading strategy right. So let's start with simple moving average, because as I said, it is a beginner's course, and then you can graduate to your weighted moving average, EMA, exponential moving average, whatever works well, because it gives a difference of just some price. But to understand it better, I have plotted simple moving average. So as I said, someone is asking me whether HUL is going to fall now. Let's do your homework and tell me tomorrow, because I don't have the chart right now in front of me. But from what we have studied, let's do the homework and let's see what it happens tomorrow. So, well, I'm not answering stocks because stocks I don't have access right now. And the main idea is to get you all acquainted to these trading tools, and stocks we can discuss during market hours if you are having any issues. So I conclude here. Thank you everyone for joining this webinar. See you tomorrow again.